All right, guys, it's been about a week since Robinhood Chain and all the tokenized stocks launched on MaxFi, and it has been a crazy week, over $1 million, $1.3 million just in new TVL, just on Robinhood Chain. We are now the number 8th project, not number 8th liquidity provider. We're number 1 liquidity provider on Robinhood. We are the number 8th project in all the chain, which is crazy. And sometimes we're going to the number 7. I've never seen it. It's insanity. So it's really cool to see. We're like above PancakeSwap. We're above some of these big, Curve, these big institutions on Robinhood. We have a lot of influence on Robinhood, which is great because we're moving so fast. Alex, our dev, is just adding more and more of these tokenized stocks, and he's adding stuff like government bonds, ETFs. I mean, it's insane. I'm going to go through it with you guys in a second because there are real opportunities a lot of people might not understand. So I'm going to help you guys understand it. Now, this thing has been working flawlessly. As you can tell, 4 rebalances on Apple stock is extreme because it had earnings. The earnings were not good. And even with that, I'm still good. I think the earnings came down. I think the stock fell like about 7%. So I lost about 3.5% on the value here. But with this, I more than made up for it. And that's what you get with liquidity farming, right? Because the way you got to think about it is you're 50% USDG and 50% Apple. So let's say Apple drops 10%, which is rare. It'll probably just tread water for the next quarter, which is what you want. You don't want it to go too crazy. So basically, if it drops 10%, you really are taking a 5% or less hit. And it's kind of a cushion because you're just earning daily now income. So this is the beauty of liquidity farming for the most part. Nobody really panicked in the community. It was great. And that's why you have to have a portfolio. So these are things we're discovering, okay? You have to have a portfolio like you would in stocks, like you have in a stockbroker. You need to have multiple different stocks. You can't just rely on one. So that is what I've seen a lot of people are doing. And I'm going to go over some other accounts and some best practices of what you need to do. For the most part, Apple. Oh, okay. A lot of people have also asked me like, hey, how come I get different APRs than you do? Well, the reason you're getting different APRs is because stocks, I'm going to show you some stuff in a minute, operate a little bit differently than traditional, let's say, cryptoverse does, or crypto world does. So the thing with stocks is, depending on when you open it, during market hours, after market hours, weekends, they're all different because the most of trading happens during market hours. There is a lot of trading after market hours, but later into the night it lowers. So everyone's APR is going to be different depending on when you open it. And then weekend is going to also be different. So it's all just different. So you can't count on the APR. You got to let it stay here for like, we don't really know what the real APRs are. I think they're going to be anywhere, depending on the stock, anywhere from 100 to 300%. Some I think might be a little bit stronger, like Tesla's and SpaceX might be a little bit stronger, depending on the range. But for the most part, I think that's where they're going to be. Some will be less, some will be more, but majority of them will, I think, fall in the 100 to 300, which is actually very similar to crypto. But also, this is an incredible opportunity because these don't move around and generally move up over time. So, and there's no crypto bear market on these. This is always, stock market is generally in a bull market. It's generally heading up, while you see the S&P and the NASDAQ are generally always going up. This is the perfect environment to do liquidity farming, and people haven't really discovered it. There's not a lot of people who do liquidity farming. About 30,000 who actively manage it and use a sophisticated system like MaxFi. That's it. It's so small. So you got to understand, you're one of the very few. You're very early, and take advantage of it is what I would say. Now, Netflix, I opened up some new Netflix positions, and I get APRs all over the place on those too. So I really don't know what Netflix is. I think Netflix is between 200 to 300%. That's what I'm thinking it's going to come in. Okay. Let's go to some new positions. One is my test account. So my test account is a little bit different. I got a little bit of everything in here. I'm just trying to see what's going on for the most part. And I did make a couple discoveries. By the way, NVIDIA, day one, I've had it 11 days on this one. I think this was like the first position I just held it. 120% at a 5% range. That's probably very realistic of what we're going to get even on high volume days. NVIDIA, I've seen some really crazy high volume days, and I bought this at about $198. So on top of everything, I've gained a little bit in my position value. So this is actually what's really cool about a lot of these stocks. Now, what I really have enjoyed so far is this one, SPY. This is the S&P. Why have I enjoyed this? 103%, zero rebalances. S&P doesn't move at a 4.9% range. I see some of you going a little bit bigger. S&P, you can bring it in a little bit tighter. S&P doesn't really move more. I mean, on a bad day, it's like considered 2%. On a 4.9, let's say 5% range, you're talking about 2.5% this way, 2.5% this way. You're pretty covered for the most part. Yeah, there might be some days might be an outlier, and then yes, if the market like pumps, you'll go past it and it'll rebalance. But for the most part, SPY, I mean, this is almost a no-brainer to me, and there is a good amount of volume on this particular. We're going to go through this. If you come over here, you can see the volume is starting to pick up on the SPY because now there is $229,000 in TVL. There wasn't this much, so now the volume has picked up, and I've seen some days where the volume is even higher than this, 4, 5, 600,000, and that is why what you're seeing over here is 100% because the liquidity pool is being actively used. Today, only half of it, you could say. There was only maybe a 50% churn, so maybe the APRs are a little bit lower today. But overall, what we're seeing is there are certain days that the APRs do spike on it. So it's very interesting, and it's going to be very actively traded, which is great. So to me, this is starting to look like gold. I opened this Google 18 hours ago just to see. Again, not enough data, but I think it's going to probably be there, 4.9% range. QQQ is also same, not enough volume. I went tighter on this particular QQQ just to see. I'm being a little bit of a cowboy on some of these just to see. Put a 1 hour delay. I got 13 rebalances. It's a little crazy, but listen, we're not paying these fees. We can do crazy stuff. We can't. Nobody else can. That is the power of MaxFi because we have no swap rebalancing technology. We don't even pay for these rebalances. So we can do crazy things. So what I'm hoping for is in a year, I'm going to keep this position, and I think I've gained on this position, even with all these rebalances. I have my spreadsheet here, but it wasn't this much. It was less. So I gained on a position. I'm gaining my earnings because this is moving up. I'm getting a ton of rebalances, but does it make a difference? I'm going to need Alex to run some numbers on this, but for the most part, these are the things I'm discovering. I tried this one, new stock, USAR, some rare earth company. I bought it cheaper. I think I bought it at like 15 something, 14 something actually, or 5 down here. It's already rebalanced a bunch of times in 18 hours. So I'm going to have to rethink this one, and this is what you're learning. This is for me. This is my test ground. This account is my test ground. Okay. So let's see what else we got that's interesting. Intel, I wanted to test out. I saw a lot of you going Intel. A lot of you are crushing it on Intel. I was a little afraid to get into Intel because I felt the stock was possibly overvalued. So what I think we're going to do, and I've talked to Alex about this, is we're going to try to bring somebody who's a real stock analyst or somebody who is really strong in stocks. If you know someone, please tell them. We're going to try to open up maybe possibly a stock part of the Discord, maybe even a paid Discord. We haven't decided how we're going to do this yet, where we can get real stock analysis. And because if you are buying stocks, you need to do some due diligence in them. And I'm going to show you guys some of the best practices you could do. So that's one of the reasons I didn't get into Intel, but I noticed a lot of you did, and a lot of you crushed this trade, because not only did Intel go up, the APR that Intel was paying was psychotic over the last week. It's been absolutely crazy. I mean, honestly, Microsoft has been crazy too, and it did a crazy pump. I mean, it's looking good. It's looking good. A lot of people did get into Reddit, so I want to try it. I'm already out of range because it moved up today, so it had a nice little mini pump today. So for the most part, and then Dell is another one I saw a lot of people get into. Again, Dell has been very strong, and I just made this 18 hours ago. I wanted to see what the real APR is. I see a lot of people getting about 200%. I think that's kind of being realistic. 150 to 250, depending on the range. My range here is about 6.2. So this is what I'm seeing, and I'm going to go over Costco, 100%, 18 hours, looks about right. And yeah, this is, you see Netflix. This one that's a shorter term one is only 142%. But I think this is where it's going to end up. I literally think, and by the way, I'm thinking about going very heavy in Netflix because I think Netflix is slowly going to trend up. But again, that is based on my stock analysis. Could be wrong. I think at $70, it's too cheap. $70 to $75, I think it's just too cheap. So my goal, and by the way, this is a 10% range. So I have a 10% range on Netflix. Earning 142% is crazy. And I just made this today just to see. My other position is at 300 or 400% on Netflix, closer in. I mean, this is gold. I don't know what to tell you, and it hasn't really come down. And when I look at this and I go 10% wide, that means I can go 5% this way, 5% that way, and not rebalance. It's kind of nuts. This is the one Alex did today, which I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh, Tesla is nuts, by the way. A lot of you guys are in Tesla, crushing it. This one I want to talk about. This is the one, USDG with SGov. What is SGov? I'm going to show you guys over here. So we posted this. Basically, SGov is the iShare 0 to 3 month Treasury bond ETF. It holds nothing except U.S. Treasury bills with less than 3 months left to run. It is the most boring asset in existence, and that is exactly the point. And Alex put in here, it trades around $100 a share, and it moves about 0.01 in a day, not 1%. So, okay, SGov is, okay. So I want to explain why SGov is actually very important and where the opportunity is. Same thing with the S&P and the QQQs. You can see those are ones eventually. The liquidity is not there. We're going to talk about that in a second. Liquidity is not there, but what can we do? What can we do when the liquidity is there is really the bigger question. I'm going to show you this. So USDG with SGov is basically a stable pair. It's really what you just entered, okay? Now, I think the APR on this is barely being traded right now, so there's no APR. Like this APR is a bunch of boo-boo. It doesn't really matter. There's literally no one trading this. We can look at it. There's only $6,600 in TVL in it, and Alex set up the rails. Basically, SGov is being run by the MaxFi community. We're going to run this thing. So when the real inflows come in, we're probably going to see some crazy amounts of money roll through, and APRs are going to be crazy. But this is not something you can move on in size yet. At some point, we will be. It could be a month. It could be a week. It could be 2 months. I don't know when. But at some point, this will change. Now, this is where SGov is very important. Where I think the APR for SGov is going to go is I think the APR for this is going to go about 30%. And look how tight I am. Why am I running so tight? Because you got to do some due diligence, right? I'm going to show you right now. You have to do due diligence on all these stocks. So I bring it up. It's an ETF. You can see the reason I went 0.6 so tight was because, well, it doesn't really go out of range. The top range of it is 100.7, and the bottom range of it is 100.38 or 4. So it's like 3.3 difference. So I'm probably rarely going to go out of range. I probably like to be at about a 0.8 realistically, but you know, I did a little bit tighter just to see where it would be. And this is the 1 year chart. So this is a very predictable asset. On a 5 year, it's still damn predictable because only 100 and it's moved up to 100.7. It's basically over 5 years moved. Let's see, max. Oh, it's the same. Okay, crazy. All the way back. Oh, it's only, that's 6 years. Yeah. All the way back. It's only moved up to 0.7. That's the highest it's ever gone. So this is made not to move. This is absolutely gold for liquidity farming. Why is this gold? Well, I'm in another pair here. I've been in this pair for 110 days. So a lot of you don't know, SnuggleFi and MaxFi are the same contract, same everything. And by the way, also MaxFi is on DeBank, which I'm going to show you guys in a second also how to use that tool. So what SnuggleFi is it's more of the blue chip pairs, and MaxFi is all more of the degen, crazy plays, meme coins, and all that kind of stuff. So they are the same contract, same everything. But I had this position on Snuggle because I wanted to segregate it and just see what it does by itself. Because these are the positions you can go in big. So I went in this position around $183 and change. It's like $183.65, something like that. So now it's down to about $182. Let's call it, I went in $184. I made $10 in earnings over 110 days. This is the power of a stable pair. If you're in a stable pair, it is so powerful over time. All you got to do is sit there and give it time. These are positions you can literally put $50,000 into, $20,000 into, $100,000, $1 million into, and forget. And if you don't need your money, you just let it sit, you chill. That is what my goal is, and that is what I was trying to figure out. See how these positions paid. Now, with this particular position, Euro USDC, it has rebalanced 19 times on 110 days. I believe this will have even fewer rebalances, meaning I will not even have this particular impermanent loss that this had. I believe. I don't know because there's no data on it yet. This has never been done. Everything you're seeing here is a complete revolution. It's completely revolutionary. And just like this comment from Alex Blockchain Pill, one of the YouTubers that, well, actually the largest YouTuber for that covers ICP community, he said, LP farming T-bills was not on my bingo card today. MaxFi equals the future of finance. And the reality is this is what's going on. We are the future of finance. And yes, nobody thought T-bills would be LP farming it. In fact, I didn't even think it was possible. This is how crazy this stuff is. This is how fast we're moving. I mean, props to Alex. I mean, he's the one that's just moving at light speed, bringing these things to the forefront. So what you want to do is start some positions in these things, even if it's like you can see, I did a very small position. So I bought this up with like a couple hours left in the trading day and the APR was like 40, 50%. And then it dropped and it dropped really low because nobody's really trading T-bills in off trading hours. There's no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason to trade a T-bill in off trading hours. Zero reason, guys. So basically, because of this reason, because of what you're seeing is we don't know the true rates. Where I think the rates are going to be is probably between 20 and 30% with very little impermanent loss. And basically you just get that 20 to 30% and you can eat from it. So imagine putting $100,000 into something like this. And this is why these are important. You can put $100,000 in an LP like this. It'll probably never rebalance, maybe once or twice a year. And you can just sit there and gain that cash flow with basically two stable pairs, and it will pay more than being in something even like this, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good yield. It's pretty good, but it'll pay more. And in my opinion, the risk is less because you don't know. One day you wake up, the euro or the dollar spikes. We still had 19 rebalances. I would like to see this at zero, right? On a stable pair. And you can get that on a USDC, but you're only getting like what, 5%, 4%, 3%, 6%, depending on the chain. You know, you're not getting very much, you're getting very little, sometimes even less than that. So this is obviously earning more than USDC stable, USDT stable pair. But what you want is something that earns even more with the same risk profile or less risk profile, which is why this can become incredibly, incredibly, incredibly important. I hope that makes sense to you guys. This is the future. It is definitely interesting. Now, MaxFi is on DeBank. So now you can go to DeBank when you bring up your profile. So now when you bring up a profile, what will happen on DeBank, it'll have your MaxFi position here in base, and it'll have your MaxFi position in Robinhood. And you can click on these, and you can also go to like your transaction history. You can look around here and you can click on transaction history and you can see what transactions you made. If you forgot a transaction, you forgot to write down how much you paid for it, or you just look it up and that's it. It's very simple. DeBank is a great tool that you guys can use. And I also want to thank you guys. We are over $5 million at Snuggle and MaxFi combined TVL. Absolutely insane. We are absolutely dominating Robinhood Chain with 1.37 million. I mean, it's insane. We are absolutely killing it. There are a lot more inflows coming into Robinhood Chain, which is great for us. We want Robinhood Chain to be a huge, massive success. More money and more flows come into Robinhood Chain. Basically, it's just going to make the liquidity more and increase our APRs and increase our bags. And so far, that's happening. I'm going to show you guys in a minute. And this just shows that the technology does work and what Alex has built. I mean, this guy doesn't sleep. He's working 18, 19, 20 hours a day, all hours of the night. I'm on the West Coast and I'm talking to him. It's already like 2 a.m. here. He's still awake. I don't know when he sleeps. I don't know if he sleeps. I think he might be a vampire. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at this point. And then I wake up and I got more messages from him. I don't understand. I went to bed. He's still programming. Okay, this is the dedication, level of dedication you're starting to see from him. He's moving this forward in a way I've never seen. This is why I call him a genius, because the way he's moving this forward, it's unbelievable. And some of the things he's already doing, I can't even imagine. Some of the things in finance that MaxFi and SnuggleFi are going to unlock, we haven't even dreamed of yet, like this T-bills. We don't know what's going to happen to these things. That's why it's good to understand them now, understand this video now, what I'm talking about, because I don't know what this will mean in 6 months yet. That's how fast things are moving. We're the only ones doing these kind of things like this. No one else is doing it. No one else has this TVL. You know, there's a reason for it. Capital finds the most efficient place and the best technology. In this particular case, we are the only play in town. Capital has found it. because the no swap technology gives us a huge advantage over everyone entering these LP pools, which are like literally 0.3% and 1%. They're getting massacred. So they can't come that tight. Guess who can? We can. We can come in tight. And plus, I'm going to do an AMA with Alex. He's going to help you guys understand when we make the LPs for certain pools, especially on the meme coins, how we actually help cushion those meme coins and how the LP system on MaxFi actually helps these meme coins actually grow in TVL. So some cool things we've discovered, the system is actually helping the whole entire ecosystem, and every token that it's kind of backs as a community of MaxFi has generally done well. So it's actually this loop that we're all running together and helping one another out, which he'll explain better than I can, but it's just so interesting. Let's look up Robinhood Chain. So Robinhood Chain, remember, it was in the 300s of millions of dollars last week. Now it's getting boosted. This is what I'm looking for every day. It's just going up. Like I think last week was 333 or 331, 330. That was a day. That was only July 29th. So we're on August 3rd and we're already at 403. I mean, we're jumping. This is great. It's 70 more million in liquidity. This is exactly what we want to see. And there you go. We are a liquidity manager. We're the number 1 liquidity manager on Robinhood Chain. Looks like somebody took our number 8 position, but it's okay. More, I would say, protocols and projects, large ones are coming on to, it's a DEX. A DEX came. We'll take them over. They usually drop off. So we'll reclaim the number 8 spot. So what you're seeing is, we basically are dominating. You got Curve here, Sushi Swap. I mean, Pancake Swap. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, we're just taking over, guys. We're just so far ahead of everybody else as far as LP managers go. I mean, there are no other LP. I didn't even see any. So there we go. Since we're moving more into stocks, I think the stocks is absolutely a enormous opportunity. I think it's absolutely enormous. We're so early in the stocks. It's ridiculous how early we are. Like I said, we're not even in the first inning. We're in the pre-inning still. We're pre-game. We haven't even started. So what I'm going to do is try to, like I said, bring someone onto the Discord who can educate us more about stocks. By the way, I used to be very big in stocks, and I used to know everything about every single one of these companies. You would have asked me like 20 years ago, I would have known. I would have told you their earnings. I would have known all the numbers. I would have read all their filings. That's how much of a nerd I was. But I can't do that anymore because nerds suck. No, I'm just kidding. But I just can't do it. It's a killer. There's more data out today and more ways to analyze things today, especially with AI. So that's actually great. But what this is AskClash.ai. He has an earnings calendar here, which is what you should start doing. Like, for example, you're going to figure out strategies. SpaceX has earnings tomorrow, right? August 4th. The idea is, do you want to be around for SpaceX's earning? Are you confident in it? Yes, there's a couple ways to look at it. If you stay in your SpaceX position, August 4th earnings good, bad, medium, in line, volume's going to spike. You're going to make a ton of money off the volume. You might even make 1 or 2% off the volume. But you might be like, I think SpaceX is going to do good tomorrow. I'm going to stick in my position. You might be like, I don't want to take that risk. So this is something that you're going to have to develop and understand and see. I thought Apple stock earnings were good. They were good, actually, but they still went down for whatever reasons. The market reacted to some of the things because they said the memory chip costs were going up. Okay, so I believe eventually their stock will come back up. I'm not too worried about Apple. You know what I mean? It'll eventually come back up and go even higher. So that's not a problem. Plus, Apple literally buys back like $50 to $80 billion of their stock every single year. Literally, there's probably a team of people whose job is to buy. Okay, literally. So Apple stock isn't something I'm particularly worried about. Now with SpaceX, it's a little bit more risky, of course. So these are things, if you're in these stocks, but if you're already in them and you already understand them and you already know them, then you have less worry. But if you're new to them, you're definitely going to want to do some research. So this is what I would do, is this earnings calendar. Please get one of these stock trackers or earnings trackers. I use this guy, AskClash.ai. I think this is actually one of the better ones I've seen. There are other ones, but you guys can use whichever one you like. From Friday close to Monday open is 65 hours and 30 minutes, guys. U.S. stock closes at 4 p.m. and doesn't open till 9:30 a.m. on Monday. 65 hours of no trading. The stocks, ETFs and stuff barely move. I see a little bit of movement on like MSTR, but outside of that, because that moves with Bitcoin, I don't see any movement. So we're literally sitting in these liquidity pools earning money for 65 hours of the week. You know how long that is? 38 to 39% of the week we're earning on the weekends with basically no risk, unless you're an MSTR or eventually BMNR. Some of these are tied to some outside assets, or like the silver, for example, or the gold ETFs. Outside of those, we're literally sitting there earning for 65 hours and 30 minutes. For 38% of the time, we are earning. Isn't that crazy? I wanted to show this particular account here because there's a lot of variations in it, so you guys can kind of get some ideas. ASML over 5 days. Keep in mind, a lot of this was over the weekend, so these rates are even more spectacular. This is why I'm so passionate about the stocks, because I'm taking, in my opinion, less risk than crypto. These generally head up over time, and I'm getting paid, and I'm compounding back into them. I'm getting more Intel. I'm getting more Dell. Dell had a 6.2 range. That means 3%. Well, it's already out of range because Dell had a crazy earnings. Again, that means this has gone up and this has gone up and earnings have gone up. Like, you're getting a multiple whammy. You get the price appreciation and you get more earnings because the volume goes up. You know, it's just like we're so early to this, but I believe that this is going to be here for the long term, by the way. I don't think these rates are going to go much lower than what people think. Now, NVIDIA is the one that I've noticed because it has the most trading volume. It's about 120 to 150%. This is where I think it's going to remain. But that's spectacular. And it's doing this on millions in TVL and millions in volume every day. This is absolutely, absolutely spectacular. This is what we can see is going to happen to the rest of them, in my opinion. To be able to earn 100% compound in more NVIDIA, and you can go a little bit wider range, 10% range on NVIDIA, 5% either way, and probably get very little rebalances, very little impermanent loss, and compound your NVIDIA stock long term. I mean, this is absolutely breakthrough stuff that we've made here. It's mind-boggling. Absolutely. I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me. TSM, 8.3% range, almost 200% APR, sickening. SpaceX is always high. It's always doing good. Again, SpaceX has earnings tomorrow. So are you going to stick in there? Are you worried it's going to fall 10%? Maybe it goes up 10%. I don't know. Maybe it does nothing. We don't know. Now, even if it does fall 10%, will we care? Because the APR is almost like 1% a day. You know? So these are things to think about. You're like, maybe I just stick in there for 3-4 days. I make my money back. Who cares? You know, these are things that people are now thinking about. Netflix is an absolute killer. These were all made around the same amount of time, as you can see. Tesla's doing well. Reddit had bad earnings and then it went back up, which is what I love about stocks. They can have bad earnings, but it's a large enough firm. They'll go back up because the earnings next quarter or prelude to the next quarter or something else happens, they go back up. This one is starting to look interesting to me. Wrapped ETH Coinbase. Lots of rebalances. Might have to go wider range. But if you're telling me that's the APR, that is insane. Let's see. Is there anything else? More Netflix. New doesn't do well at all for anybody, including myself. Okay, so now if you look here, we have 37 stocks listed and ETFs. Absolutely insane. This is insane. Imagine in a couple months when this is going to be in the hundreds. First of all, we're probably going to dominate Robinhood Chain. We'll probably have like $10 million of just stocks in there, if not more. I mean, there's incredible amount of opportunity in here. I mean, we just added Meta. Boost also means these are boosted pools. This is some rails and infrastructure that Alex has added to these to make them more liquid and to make them basically operate better and earn more for the community. And also, we've had a lot of records for the community. We're probably gonna have to go through. We're over $5 million in TVL. We're already paid out over $500,000 in rewards to everyone that's farming. But not only that, in the last 7 days, the average has been $16,311 per day. The numbers are extreme. And as I've said before, what ends up happening a lot of times is capital flows to the most effective, most efficient places where people can make the most money. And that, as you can see, is exactly what has happened to Snuggle and MaxFi. You're absolutely seeing that take place. So it's a lesson for everyone. As you know, we're all very entrepreneurial and business savvy. You know, when you make something that works, when you make something technologically advanced that people want to use, people make more money on, the money will flow to you over time. That is what we're seeing. It is a basically verification of what Alex has been saying, that this is the most capital efficient technology that has ever been built for LP farming. So it's just great to see what is going on, and basically we should have some AMAs coming up and some new data points he's putting together for you guys, hopefully this week. Anyway, guys, best of luck to everyone out there. I'll see you soon.